Hello and welcome back to the Simple-ESL Podcast. And in today's episode, we are going to look at travel language and have a story called The Weekend Trip. In this lesson, we will listen to a story about a relaxing countryside getaway, learn some useful travel vocabulary, and focus on important grammar points, the difference between past simple and past continuous. By the end of the episode, you'll be able to describe past experiences clearly and talk about what is happening in a specific moment in the past and share your own travel stories in natural English. So why don't we start this lesson? So let's start with our story. Anna wanted to take a short break from work, so she planned a weekend trip to the countryside. On Saturday morning, she woke up early and packed her bag. The sun was shining and the birds were singing. As she was driving, she saw beautiful green fields and small villages. When she arrived, she met her friend Emma at a cozy guest house. They spent the afternoon walking by the lake and taking photos. In the evening, they were sitting outside watching the sunset and drinking tea. It was peaceful and quiet. On Sunday, while they were having breakfast, it started to rain softly. They decided to stay inside and play cards until the rain stopped. Later, they walked through the forest and everything smelled fresh and clean. Anna said, "This weekend was exactly what I needed." Sounds like a wonderful trip. This story mixes both the past simple and past continuous tenses to show what happened and what is going to happen and what is going on at the same time. So we'll listen carefully and we'll go through these grammar points later in the lesson. This September, I've got something special to help you with your English learning. Our Patreon membership, usually £4.99 a month, is now just 50p for your first month. That's almost 90% off. You'll get access to every worksheet, grammar course, and a new piece of content, at least one, every week. But hurry! This back to school special ends on the 23rd of October. Use the QR code or go to patreon.com/simple-esl and use the code 9948C and start learning today. That's patreon.com/simple-esl. Use the code 9948C. We'll see you there. Let's practice some of the key phrases from the story. I'd like you to repeat after me, focus on the pronunciation and rhythm. Anna wanted to take a short break. Anna wanted to take a short break. She was driving through the countryside. She was driving through the countryside. They were sitting outside watching the sunset. They were sitting outside watching the sunset. It started to rain softly. It started to rain softly. They decided to play cards. They decided to play cards. Anna said, "This weekend was exactly what I needed." Anna said, "This weekend was exactly what I needed." Now, what do you notice about each of these sentences? Each of these sentences uses either the past simple or past continuous. You'll notice that the past continuous helps us imagine the scene, a bit like a movie playing in the background, while the past simple shows the key actions and move the story forwards. This is a great way to remember it and to pick out these sentences and figure out if it's past simple or past continuous. Let's take a look at some of the vocabulary from the story. Our first word is countryside. Repeat after me. Countryside. This means land outside of towns and cities. For example, they drove through the countryside. Next we have guest house. Guest house. This is a small hotel or home for visitors. They stayed in a cozy guest house. Peaceful. Peaceful. This means calm and quiet. It was peaceful and quiet by the lake. Packed. Packed. This means to put things into a bag. She packed her bag early in the morning. Fresh. If something is fresh, it's clean and new. So the forest smelled fresh after the rain. And finally, decided. Decided. This means to make a choice. They decided to stay inside. Try using these words when you talk about your own weekend and holidays. They will help you create an atmosphere and make your descriptions more vivid. We're going to have a little closer at some of the grammar points from this episode. The past continuous and the past simple. We use the past simple for completed actions. Things are started and finished in the past. For example, she packed her bag, or they decided to stay inside. These are clear finished actions. We use the past continuous for longer background actions, things that were in progress at a certain time in the past. The example here, she was driving through the countryside. They were sitting outside watching the sunset. These help set the scene, showing what was happening around the main events. When we combine the tenses, we can describe what was going on and when something happened. Our example here, they were having breakfast when it started to rain. The longer action, having breakfast, was interrupted by the shorter action, started to rain. Here's a quick way to remember it. Past simple, what happened. Past continuous, what was happening. A few more examples. I was reading a book when my friend called. They were watching a movie when the lights went out. She was walking to the station when it began to snow. In each example, the past continuous gives us the background, and the past simple tells us the main event that was interrupted or completed the scene. When you tell stories, especially in English, using both tenses together makes your speaking more natural and more interesting. Time for a little bit of quiz review. What is the most visited city in the world? Paris, Tokyo, or New York? What do you think is the most visited city in the world? And the answer, it's Paris. Second question, which is the busiest travel day of the year in the US? New Year's Eve, the day before Thanksgiving, or Christmas Eve? All busy travel days, very stressful, not calm like our story. Which is the busiest day? It's the day before Thanksgiving. Let's go through some discussion questions. We're going to have some questions and I'll give you some example answers. Why do people need to take breaks or go on trips? So people need to take breaks because life can be stressful. When we take a trip, we can relax and enjoy peaceful places. For example, last month I was feeling tired from work, so I decided to spend a weekend in the countryside. It was calm and quiet, and I came back feeling fresh and happy. Can you see the past continuous and the past simple being used in these sentences, along with the vocabulary we learnt in the lesson? For example, fresh, something new. Let's check out our second example and second question that I would like you to answer. What makes the perfect weekend getaway? Use the vocabulary and the grammar from the lesson. A perfect weekend getaway is peaceful and relaxing. Last summer, I was staying at a cozy guest house by the lake. The sun was shining and the birds were singing. We were walking in the forest and taking photos. It was exactly what I needed. So try and make your own example answer to that question. What makes the perfect weekend getaway for you? Number 3. If I could visit anywhere this weekend, where would you go and why? I'd go to the mountains because they are quiet and beautiful. I'd love to walk through the forest, breathe the fresh air. Last time I visited, it started to rain while we were having breakfast, but we decided to stay inside and play cards until the weather improved. Hopefully this gives you an idea and can show you how you can use this grammar and the vocabulary to talk about trips, traveling, and your perfect getaway. I want you to think about the most exciting thing, the best thing, the thing that you're going to really enjoy, and use today's episode to build your own answers to these questions. And you can do this with the homework and the worksheets. If you want access to our lessons and worksheets, do go to our Patreon page. You can find it at allmylinks.com/simple-esl21. Today, you have listened to a story about a weekend trip. We've learned about travel and activity vocabulary and practiced the past simple and past continuous tense. We've also answered some discussion questions, and I gave you some model answers for those. As part of your homework challenge, I would like you to write 6 to 8 sentences about a relaxing trip you have taken. Use both the past simple and past continuous. And we will see you in our next podcast. Have a wonderful day.